Welcome to the Build Show. I'm your host, Ben Estrino, over here at the Empower Gaming Studio, building yet another late night PC. Thank you, Quinn, for, or not Quinn, I'm sorry, XL 432 over on the Kick side for following. Hope that's a real follow. And Chef over on the Twitch side, subscribed with a tier 1. Thank you. Karen, thank you for the like over there on Facebook. Appreciate that. Intel for the win over on YouTube. You're killing me, Smalls, with these late streams. Well, right now, these are the only times that I'm able to stream. So I'm drowning. Drowning. Can't seem to get anything done. So this is the time that I have allotted to stream right now. This is when we're going to do the streams. I think after this week, we'll be able to get back into a better schedule. What really backed everything up was going on vacation for 2 weeks. That was a terrible idea. I don't know whose idea that was, but that backed everything up. And then trying to maintain the work schedule as we grow. So, all right, Austin, present. LOL. I'm up anyway, so no sweat here. Hey Roy, hey Ben. Welcome back to the Build Show, both of you. All right, the Chef has been subscribed for 3 months now. Awesome, thank you for the support, Chef, over there. Michael, thank you for the like also over there on Facebook. Much appreciated. The like and the share. Yes, I know, Austin. Your name's Mike, but I'm tired. You can't play games with me. All right, so tonight we're going to be building a PC. We're not building just any PC. Tonight we are building Quinn's PC. This is going to be build number 84 on the year of 2025. We are slowly climbing that mountain. The big question is will we get enough builds to surpass 2024, or are we going to come in underneath? That's going to be the big question. Okay, fine. So Quinn, I don't know if you are still up. I know we're starting late, but I did, I hopefully gave everybody a good enough hint yesterday that we were probably going to be starting late, which I predicted very well. Perfectly. Said probably after 10, and it's 10:32. So here we are. We're going to be running through Quinn's build. Quinn actually went to Micro Center and purchased all of his own components and then asked me to do the build for him. So here we are doing his build. And I made some recommendations on what to get. I don't know why we ended up with a white. I hope this isn't white. I guess if it is white, that's okay. I don't know why we ended up with a white frozen note. I wonder if I have a black one. I don't think I do. I have a black Aqua Elite. I don't have the frozen note. But I directed him to purchase these items on Amazon to save a few dollars, because we were really trying to keep this around $1,000-ish for the build, for the entire build, and kind of, max performance where we could. And one of the areas that we were trying to save money is with the cooler, because Micro Center doesn't have a very good budget-friendly option. And the power supply, which again, Micro Center really doesn't have a great 80 plus gold option that's going to be at the same price point that this one is at. So I've used a ton of these Sagittepes 650s, and they do very well. And then of course you've seen me build with the frozen note quite a bit, but I think he might have accidentally clicked on a white one instead of a black one. Now we'll have a white cooler inside the case. I don't think he cares too much about it, but Quinn, if you are here and in the chat, do you mind dropping a answer to that? Because I didn't realize this was white until I opened up the box and pulled it out and put it on the table. So, or I would have mentioned something about that. But This being white, it's going in a black case, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's definitely a black Montech XR. Also, believe it or not, white one is cheaper on Amazon. So maybe that's why he selected that one. I don't know. Either way, we'll proceed with the build. Again, I do have a black cooler here. It's just not the Frozen Note. It's the Aqua Elite by the same company. Same size. Probably pretty close to the same performance. I think the only difference is this one has the inline pump, whereas the Aqua Elite does not. Just slap black fans on it. I could do that, but I don't know. I think we're just gonna roll with it. Quinn, are you here? I don't know if he's here or not. I did send him a text and gave him a heads up that we were starting. All right. Well, we'll roll with it. Hopefully he noticed that he purchased the white one. And the rest of the build is the Ryzen 5 7600X 3D. So this is the first 7600X 3D that I'm actually going to be building with. I don't get an opportunity, or haven't had an opportunity to build with this, but this was to get him on an X3D chip. He doesn't need all the extra cores, but he gets the 3D V-Cache on a AM5 platform with the Micro Center bundle. So he saved a few dollars there. I think this kit came out to just over $400, which is a really good deal for the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM, which is the, again, Ryzen 5 7600X 3D paired with the B650E Wi-Fi Asus Tough Gaming motherboard. And then we have a 32 gig kit of G.Skill Flare X5, which is two 16 gigabyte sticks, totaling at 32, and it's 6000 megahertz CL36. We also I added the Thermalright contact frame because I do pretty much have one here at all times for builds. And then we have a 2 terabyte Samsung 990 EVO Plus, which is a Gen 4 SSD. Pretty close to the same performance as the 990 Pro, just a little bit slower, I think, on the right side. Read side's pretty close to the same performance. Then again, the Thermalright Frozen Note 360mm AIO, along with the PowerColor Reaper AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT, which is the 16 gigabyte version, and then the Segitep GN 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply, all going into the Montech Air 903 Max. Or I'm sorry, not the, wow, Montech XR. Sorry, the girls came over here and were trying to tell me something while I was talking. Mike says, Micro Center has some great bundles. Yes, they do. That is why I direct usually people to Micro Center if they want to go buy their own parts. I'm like, just go to Micro Center. Don't go anywhere else. And that's where I ended up going to get all this, except for the cooler and the power supply, which I told him, save a few bucks, you can order it on Amazon. So I bought it all up, brought it here Sunday, and then I was going to try to do this build at the tail end of the Titan build yesterday, but we just ran out of time. It got too late. So here we are tonight, building Quinn's PC. So let's go ahead and get started on this build. It is time. Time for the build. Wish I lived near one? Yes. No, you don't wish you lived near one. Because if you lived near one, you wouldn't have any money. Trust me. I gotta get rid of that song. This one that's playing right here. I feel like this one needs to go. I don't know how it ended up in the list. It's true. Jesse knows. He knows the addiction. Jesse, did you see all the Micro Center deals on, I think it was Saturday? All those deals, get them deals. Did you get any of those? By the way, no hat tonight. It is what it is. One of those nights, you know? Alright, so our Ryzen 5 7600X3D going in to the socket here. And we'll install our contact frame. Oh, I know, sadly I didn't. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I was too busy to get down there, because I would have spent a ton of money on those Lian Li fans. There was a whole bunch of Lian Li fans for like $11. And then like packs of 3 for 30 something dollars. They're all open box and there's cables and things missing, but all good prices. Gonna try to save all the boxes here for Quinn so he can hold on to his boxes. Ben has some thick hair. Yeah, it's thick. Kind of has a mind of its own too, so be careful. Don't offend the hair. Us Italians are lucky. I don't know. I don't know if we can call it luck. I feel like I am not very lucky. Alright, next up is our 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 MHz CL32, which is going in slots A2 and B2. Again, this is T-Skill Killer X. And then, last but not least, we're going to be installing a 990 EVO Plus 2TB Gen 4 SSD by Samsung. And there we have it. The SSD, the CPU, the contact frame, and the RAM is all installed on the motherboard. So next, I'm pretty sure the Frozen Note uses the brackets on the board, the stock brackets. We could go ahead and get the case out. Which, unfortunately, if you remember, the Montech XR has tape, so I have to peel the peels pretty much instantly, because they're structurally peeled, which introduce fingerprints. This is the Montech XR. Beautiful, coolest entry to get inside the case. Not that we really need to pop this, but... And the rear. Oh, that's actually the bottom filter for the power supply. 2 thumb screws to get into the rear. Helps if you actually undo them. And voila. The back of the Montech XR. Ben looks like he's about to start knocking on doors, asking if you found Jesus. I mean, if you guys keep it up, I might just have to go do that. You know? A lot of people say I remind them of like a mafia boss when I wear my hair like this. Hey, why don't you just forget about it, alright? Forget about the hair. Go on about your own business. Oh boy, that sounded way too close to somebody else. All right, go ahead and plop the board in here nice and gently. Of course, after we peel the peel. The multiple peels. Pretty sure this has a peel. Maybe not. Nope. Nope. Okay, just the one. Well, this is truly acting like there's a peel. Oh, this has got to be a peel. Yes, can I talk to you about your... Yeah, for me, instant LOL. Yes, 100%. What's up, Alt? Welcome back to the Build Show. What do you mean by yes, 100%? Are you agreeing with my voice acting, or what are we agreeing to? My voice acting is not that great. I don't know, should I embarrass Quinn with my voice acting while I build his PC? Wonder if any of his friends are watching. You could tell I'm from New Jersey. You're from Jersey. Yeah. I get it. All right, AMD Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. The 650E Tough Gaming Wi-Fi G-Skill Flare X 32 gig. $599, yes. $600 for that kit is actually a very good deal. Nice, I looked at that one too. Yeah. Look like a mafia boss. Got it. Well, good news is we have all of our front panel connectors plugged in, including our fans. So that's all done. The bad news is we're putting a power supply in before we put the cooler in because we have a non-modular power supply. Not bad news. Perfectly fine. And we do that because once we put the cooler in, it's going to be almost impossible to get our fingers up in that corner to get these EPS cables in. So, power supply goes in first. A lot of people actually do that in general. I don't know why I'm backwards. I just do it that way. But a lot of people tell me I do it backwards. Where they generally put the power supply in, like, first. Or second. Maybe I should change the way I build. on an iBuyPower PC with a 9800X3D and a 7800 XT for $1,700. That's not bad at Best Buy. But alas, still waiting. Yeah, I hear you. We're always waiting for something. Whew. All right, so next, we're going to go ahead and proceed with putting our cooler into build. Now that we have our power supply installed, our cables in. Thought I lost the cooler. Like, where did it go? What's up, HDZ? What are we building today? We are building what will be popping there into the chat for Quinn. Build number 84 on the year, which is AMD Ryzen 5 7600X 3D with the Thermalright contact frame. Thermalright Frozen Note 360mm AIO on an Asus TUF Gaming B650E Wi-Fi motherboard. 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 CL36 G.Skill Flare X RAM with a 2TB M.2 NVMe PCIe Gen 4 Samsung 990 EVO Plus with an AMD Radeon RX 9600 XT 16GB graphics card. 16GB version. Montech XR for the case and the Montech fans that come with the case, along with Windows 11 Pro. 7600X 3D, something new? No, that is only something you can get at Micro Center. So Quinn actually went to Micro Center, picked up all of his parts and brought them here to me. So he just wanted me to do the build. So that's what we're doing tonight. So I did help him pick out all the parts. He had about a budget of around 1,000. I think we came in just a little over 1,000 with all this. Plus he's paying me to build it. So there's that as well, which is the flat fee $150 price tag. And my hope is to eventually have enough traction on the YouTube channel so that I can start building people's PCs for free, right? That'd be cool. Thank you for the subscription. The sub. I am Spita. I am Spita. Spita. This is pretty cool to see it built live. Yeah, it's fun. Wonders. Hey, welcome to the build show. I have a question. I'm going to buy a 5068GB with a 32GB RAM and a Ryzen 5 7600. What specs do I need to change? So that's the PC you're buying and you're looking for upgrades before you buy it? I guess the only thing that you'd probably want to invest more into is the graphics card on that build. If all you're doing is just gaming. I don't know what else you'd be doing on the PC, but if all you're doing is gaming, the graphics card would probably be the #1 thing, and then probably storage. I don't know what storage you have, but assuming with those parts combined, it's probably a 1TB SSD, maybe a 2TB. But my guess would be 1TB. HDZ 77 9600X3D also coming out soon. Yeah, but it's not here yet. Not here yet. $50-60 blah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, the first upgrade that he'll want to do on that PC is upgrade the RTX 5060, because that, even though it's a Ryzen 5, the 7600 could actually handle some pretty decent GPUs. So probably along with storage. Hey, what's up, TechWorks? Hey, bud. Hey, how's it going? I think I responded to your email at some point, but I can't remember what I said. 'Cause that's how my days go. My days get really full. I apologize, but I haven't responded to your email yet. I'm sorry. But I do remember that you emailed me. I at least remember that. I literally drove back from another customer location, came back here, fired up the stream, and started building. Because it's been a crazy day. We had a lot of outages today, which kept me on my feet all day. Unexpected outages too, so when you thought you had time to do something, the time goes poof, gone. So I know people are waiting on stuff from me, but I do appreciate everybody's patience through this busy time, which is usually not the busy time of the year, which is why I stacked up on all this other stuff I had to do, because in the past it's always been slow, like really slow. So I don't know, 2025 is kind of a weird year. YK, welcome back to the Build Show. Do you have a neck ache and back problem? Yeah, my neck's pretty sore. And my back feels a little like, yes, man. Just kidding. I feel like I am Igor. And my shoulders. I have big shoulders, so they're heavy. That doesn't help. But that is actually a very good question. And the answer to the question is yes. My heels also tend to hurt, and then my knees as well, because I do it standing up. I don't sit. I should probably get a stool. We talked about this when I had my hernia, but I got that fixed, so no more hernias. But my knees usually get really sore, as well as my heels, especially when I don't wear shoes. And I do it barefoot or something. All natural. Right now I'm just undoing all these bazillion twist ties that come with the Thermalright coolers.
Aha! I know what we're going to do. We're going to put 1 million twist ties on the cables. And then we're going to watch him as he undoes them.
Undoes? You can tell I'm tired, guys. I'm starting to get a little slap happy. Usually a good time to start drinking. Things get really interesting. But I don't drink and build. Quinn's like, oh, thank goodness. Or am I? Joking. Gosh. People get so offended easily these days. Alright. So, I don't know if you caught what I did, but I grabbed all the cables like one of my daughter's hair and made a ponytail right at the side, and that makes it so that these cables don't droop down the side once we get it in there. Makes it easier for cable management. Makes it probably more painful if you ever have to replace one of these fans, but I'm a gambling man. Not really, I don't actually gamble. I've learned to never win. Great. Yes, we're doing a white cooler inside a black case. This was the intention of the owner who purchased the white cooler. I hope that was his intention. Thank you for the sub, HDZ77. We do a ton of builds, a ton of PC builds. I want to do more tech videos and things like that. And I just keep finding myself ways to stay too busy so that I don't have time to do tech videos. Would love to do more tech videos and teach people more stuff about PC building. And my only opportunity to really make video is doing it live. Wonders depends on what you are going to play on the PC or do. Wonders 5060 Ti or 9060 XT. Yeah, good question back from Mike or Austin. What are you going to be doing on the PC? Completely missed that. I'm also getting 1 terabyte of storage. Yeah, 1 terabyte is a good start, but I would say probably after the first month or two, you're going to find yourself, depending on how many games you play, looking at getting another SSD. So plan on buying one rather quickly. Because 1 terabyte today, with today's sizes of games, is just almost not enough. It's enough for like 2 or 3 games. It's like having 512 back in 512 gigabytes back in like 2000, I don't know, 2019. It was like just enough to have like 2 games, and that was it. That's kind of what the 1 terabyte's turning into. The size of these AAA titles. Okay, so we got our AIO radiator installed. Now we can get the block mounted to the CPU. You know, it would look actually pretty cool if we put black fans in here and then did black and white cables. I did white RAM with a white graphics card maybe. White graphics card probably too much. I did white fans on the case fans. Would actually be cool if we had white fans with black fans on the cooler. That would have looked cool. And the idea is... Oh wait. Where's my mind? Inline pump. Recently bought the parts for about $1,000, 1080p build for my nephew with a 9600X and a 9060 XT. That's a good combo. That's almost what we're doing here. I don't know if you got the 16 gigabyte or the 8 gigabyte for the 9060 XT. But I tell people to try to lean towards the 16 unless they really need that budget friendly card, you know, the 8 gig option. But the 16 gig card is going to future-proof the build a little bit more. What's up, Progressfloor? Welcome back to the Build Show. Over on Twitch side. All over on Facebook, I apologize. Thank you for the like over there. Anyway. Solid combination of parts. HDZ. sure. I don't know why, but sometimes with this paste, it does this kind of crap and it drives me nuts. Also, if you've ever installed a Frozen Note on an AM5 or AM4 platform, you'll notice that the block likes to twist off the bracket. Kind of hold the bracket ever so slightly while you tighten it down. Or it likes to dance a little bit. Sometimes pop off the bracket. Likes to dance. Good term for it. But if you, as long as you hold it in place and then get the pressure on it, it's not going to go anywhere. Once you get the pressure on it. So, all locked in there. Have an RGB cable that we have to cut through the back. There we go, nice and neat. And we already have the power supply in, so we're doing pretty good. We're almost at an hour into the build. We're doing very good, time-wise. We're about ready to drop the graphics card in here. I'm glad to know I am not the only one that does the X with the thermal paste. Oh yeah, I've done it my entire life. And it's never failed me. So I've been doing the X since, what was that, socket 462? A&D Durons and Athlons. Before the FX 6, or before the 64, Athlon 64. It was, prior to that, it was a 32-bit processor back then. And then even, actually, before that, I had a slotted Pentium 3 and an AMD K7 processor. Gonna show my age a little bit. Brought down my temps by 10 Celsius. Hey, I installed those thermal rate fans today. They're better than most fans that come with the case. Oh yeah, they're way better than the case fans. The reason why they're so cheap, Steve, is because they actually manufacture all of their components for their parts in-house. So they don't have to buy it and pay for tooling and all sorts of other stuff, it's all in-house. That is why they could do so much for so cheap and then beat everybody else. I think they talked about that on Gamers Nexus. Steve talked to the owner of Lord. This is a 16 gigabyte AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT. A nice little card. These cards don't draw too much power, so you don't need too much cooler on them. Even though the 3-fan cards look beefier and, you know, cooler looking, they fill out the build a little bit better. Not necessary for a 9060 XT. Alright, all we have to do is get a power cord plugged into that graphics card, do some cable management on the backside, and then we're ready to fire this thing up. So we're making some pretty fast speed, building pretty quickly tonight. Not getting distracted as much with myself. Ooh, a butterfly. Kidding. Bro, can we preach go through the hole? Okay, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. I want to do it this way, but screw it. Come up through here, but not want to. Goofy bot. Nobody is looking at it. I looked at it. I was like, yeah, I should delete that. Can one of the mods delete this Goofy?
Yes, I could delete it.
I think all the mods are tired of my late night shenanigans as well. And it's gone. Don't need a fan hub. That is nice. Yeah, they're all daisy chained. Dazed effect. I'm happy with my RTX 4070. No issues over here. Nice. Yeah, the 4070 is still a great. Still a great card today. Sorry. Heard a weird noise above me. Looking good. Thank you. Yeah, working on the cable management. Heads down for a bit. Sorry, guys. Joker. You don't want more than 3 devices on any one header unless you know it can handle it. Like 3 fans. It can handle it. Joker. That motherboard has 1 amp fan headers and 3 amp RGB headers, for example. I plan on getting a 5959X. 5959X. I figure it's 5950, yeah. I figure it will work nice with heavy loads and still be a great gaming PC or CPU. I have thought about this for a while. Yeah, it's a great CPU still to this day. Great way to breathe new life into an AIM 4 socket as well. Everybody forgets, but that was like the AMD leader not too long ago. Still very capable. Alright, I know this is getting sloppy here towards the tail end of this, but because of all this little crap that's in here mixed in. Not a whole lot you can do there with that. Alright, and we're just gonna do this. Look at that. And then pray that none of those connectors came undone. It'll be fun trying to find it. Nice cable management. Thank you. You know, when somebody's paying you to do a build, you should do it right. Right? Nice and clean. Everything makes sense. What we want to see. No, I don't recommend running that on the top of the PC, but it's there, and I'm going to put it back. Okay, who's ready to see this thing fired up? Second glass panel, a lot of reflection with the RGB, so I don't typically plug that in or put that on for doing a reveal. So everybody's on the same page. And side view. All right, who's ready to fire this thing up? It's kind of naked without fans on the bottom, with the white cooler on the top. Nobody else turns a mess into a masterpiece like you, man. Thanks. I don't think that was my best work. So amazing how good the RTX 5060 Ti is when not playing an Unreal Engine game. It will play it fine, just not as good as other engines. Yeah. Yeah, Unreal does not like DLSS, I don't think. Fire it up, Chuck. Well, gee whiz. All right. You guys ready to see it? Is Quentin here? If Quentin's here, he might want to tell us to push that power button. I don't know. Dang, Ben. I went and took a shower and came back and it's done. I mean, yeah, I build faster than you could shower. I mean, the last, to be fair, Roy, the last, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 builds I've done, were massive builds, and they were like 3 hours long. Ridiculously long builds. Stupid amount of time that I took to build them. So this one I was kind of like, okay, I'm a little burnt out. We're just gonna push through this one, get it done. I didn't cut any corners though. Everything is done right. I just did a lot less chatting, I think, on the stream with you folks. So it's more like just music, and there's Ben building a PC. All right, here we go. I don't think Quinn's here in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and fire this up on behalf of Quinn. This is your build. Okay. On behalf of Quinn, this is your build. I had you there for a minute. Wanted to see if anybody was paying attention. Jeez. I wasn't here, so that saved you at least an hour. Let's game. Fire it up. Stick to him. Stick it to him, Ben. Oh, thanks. I try. All right, immediately posted. So that was a very fast post. Just poof, post, bam. Super fast to the post. Just like our Tigers go into the postseason. I'm sure, right? Detroit Tigers. It's alive! Somebody had to say that in the chat, because you know I'm going to do it. Alive! Such a terrible sound. But, Quinn, your PC is built. Hope you put on the white cooler, because that's what you brought me. So we put the white cooler in there. It doesn't look bad. Just was unexpected. I've done, black case white parts, and I've done black case white parts before, and they all look pretty cool. So there's definitely nothing wrong with it. Just a color. Thermalright makes good products. Oh yeah, for sure. Great product. I think you give it another year, and they're going to be leading the way, beating everybody else. They're already beating everybody else at price, because they manufacture everything. The only thing they can't manufacture on their own, using their own tooling, are the cases right now. And they're looking to see if they can expand to do that. So they are making cases, Thermalright, but they can't. They're not, they're about the same price as other people's cases. If they eventually get their own tooling to make their own cases, they're going to make a huge noise in the case area, because their cases are going to be way cheaper than everybody else's. You have a black case with all white parts, including the GPU. Yeah, they look pretty good. The black on white always looks, there's nothing off about black on white in a PC like that. I think you're right. Oh yeah. They have plans to take over the market. They're doing it right. They started slow, making their own tooling to make their own parts, to make their own product. So they could do it a lot cheaper, and it doesn't cost nearly as much as everybody else has to spend. I was a console guy my whole life, since the Saga Masters and NES. In 2022, I built my first PC with the 12900K and a 6900 XT. Great combo, and never looked back. Now I have the 9800X 3D and 9070 XT. Yeah, that's also a great combo. Yeah, the 12900K, I'm actually happy to hear that you got the 12900K and didn't jump into the 13th gen shortly after that 12900K, because you would have ran into some issues with Intel. But it sounds like you made the change over to the AMD platform anyway. So probably what the benefit there is that your socket's going to be available for upgrades for a longer period of time, at least right now. I know AMD's talking about a new socket already, but that's not until like 2028. So, love Mystic Light on MSI boards. Works good with everything RGB. Oh yeah, Mystic Light's always good. The only thing I don't like about MSI is their MSI Center. It is extremely buggy. Once it does work, which is 50% of the time, then it's a great tool, a great app. But half the time it doesn't work, so that bothers me. That's why you don't see me do a ton of MSI boards anymore. I still do them here and there, but... Venomous Toad, are we getting another build, or did I miss it? Unfortunately, that is the build for the night. I am burnt out for today. I've been going since 5 a.m. and I was building to almost 2 a.m. yesterday, so I got about 3-ish hours of sleep, barely. So that's what I'm running on right now. And I got to get up at 5 a.m. again tomorrow. So we've hit our limit for the day. But I'm fairly positive we'll have another build somewhere at the end of the week. It's either going to be Friday night or Saturday night, depending on when all the parts get here. The next build. I do have an inventory build to build. So that's always an option as well, to build. So we could maybe squeeze one in during the week, possibly. But I'm not going to make any promises this week because I'm booked solid this week throughout the weekdays. And I want to try to get us back into a earlier stream start. I keep saying that every time I stream. I'm like, we got to start earlier. Not a big fan of the late night streams. I mean, I enjoy them, but when I'm getting up this early right now, it's just it's a little hard. So, yep. Supposedly Zen 6 and Zen 7 will also support AM5. Oh, that'll be nice. My internet's cutting out. Y'all have a good night. All right, Joker. Have a good night, sir. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. But yes, that is it for the night. Quinn, your PC is built. We still have to do Windows on it, drivers, etc. And to be honest, I will probably have that completed at some point tomorrow night. So the build probably won't be ready for pickup at this point. Tomorrow being Tuesday, probably wouldn't be ready for pickup until Wednesday. So just to give you a heads up if you are watching. But that is it for me tonight. Also, I'm gonna go to bed. I appreciate everybody hanging out here and watching me assemble Quinn's PC. That was fun. So hopefully Quinn gets to check out this video because I don't know if he was actually here or not. I did text him, but I think he's an early riser, so he probably went to bed too. Which is what I'm gonna go do. The segue to Ben going to bed. Have a good night, guys. Join the Discord channel if you haven't already. If you would like to join the Discord channel, it's !Discord. That way you can hang out and chat or ping me, well, even when I'm not live. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Discord, and I'll see you guys on the next one towards the end of the week. Have a good night, guys. We'll see ya.